Bonus round.
I like it. And just like silence for 45 minutes after that.
That's the bonus. You get silence.
Guys, welcome to the bonus round. This is a Patreon exclusive video, but if you're watching this not on Patreon, then you have also figured out that this is a time exclusive that we...
You figured it out.
Yeah, you figured it out. You duped us again, you dastardly viewer. Yeah, so this is actually a time exclusive. Patreons, I want to go ahead and give a special thank you to helping us
Thanks so much.
donate, make this thing whole bigger
you.
and better. But this is for you, and if you're watching this on YouTube, this is also for you, but later. So,
Later.
all right, so guys, I want to talk about something that I actually experienced just last week when I was
first
showing,
time ever?
For the first time ever.
Never forget your first time.
Yeah, you know, and so my friend actually had never played Hellblade before. So I was extremely excited to show him that game because we love that game to
Good
death.
game.
Here's the thing. I don't know how well you guys are at not being, was it backseat gamers, where you're basically like trying to tell them where to go and you're like kind of getting patient because you're watching them experience. That's a game.
And you get the piano wire out and you're just like strangling the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just walk to the left. No, but anyway, so like that's some.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh.
This one over here, am I right?
Oh.
Ruining the bonus round. Here's your bonus, Lauren ruining things.
Anyways, so this show is getting harder and harder to host. You realize that? So it's you have to have a lot of patience, especially with that game, because you don't want a backseat game for Hellblade specifically, because it is definitely an experience that you need to like explore, and it's a game that teaches you how to play without saying it, you know. And one thing that started to get me really agitated was that I didn't realize how inherent some game mechanics have like been ingrained in gamers like we that have like grown up playing games all our life.
Yep.
Yeah.
That you start to recognize patterns, and when you see someone who's maybe a casual gamer or just recently got into games and they don't recognize those patterns, and how like it seems like such an obvious like common sense thing for us, but how it's brand new and maybe it doesn't make any sense, or you don't connect those dots if you've just been introduced to the game. So I kind of wanted to talk about mechanics that are like that have been introduced to games, like things, patterns that we've noticed that we've started to realize, oh, this means this or that means that, and then also how we feel when we see gamers kind of show us this what's the word I'm looking for, contrast. I'm like, oh wow, didn't realize that wasn't as obvious as it seems to me.
Yeah.
There's definitely
tough.
there's funny mechanics in games that like makes total sense to us, would make sense to a normal person.
Yeah.
Like I think about things like The Last of Us has this, where it's
a
like
normal person? Is that what you just said?
yeah, to a normal person, like an everyday average.
Normies.
Abnormal me, but
You
a
got
normal
Joe
person.
Schmo from off the street that's never touched a video game.
Sure.
He would not understand these mechanics, or a woman. Thank you.
Or a woman.
Jesus Christ.
Specifically that woman.
That's what Vera was trying to get
Okay,
at.
all right,
I'm
well.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right.
I know several women that could kick my butt in a video game.
There you go.
Not that one. Oh, this other one over
This is
here.
very true.
There's like 40 women in this room, by the way. But
None of them
All
play
judging
games.
you right now.
But okay.
Well,
I just
let's see how
like
far
40
this
women,
grave can be
arms
dug,
crossed,
huh?
just shaking.
Going.
Anyways. So The Last of Us, I think, is interesting, and there's a lot of games like this where it's just like, oh, I need to climb up something to get up here. Where do I go? And you're like looking around, and there's like a yellow piece of wood or like a yellow like piece of like caution tape wrapped around something.
Yeah.
It's always like a yellow thing, and you're like,
There's a marker.
Oh, that's the marker. I can climb up this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you would not know that if you didn't play video games, because it's like it's just a thing in video games where it's like, oh, people need to climb this area, but we need to tell them that it's they can climb that, because it's not Breath of the Wild. You can't just climb everything.
Right.
It's like you have designated spots to climb. So it's like we need to give you a marker, and it's like that game. It's a little yellow strip, or I think
or in Tomb Raider they paint ledges white.
Yeah.
So
it's,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Climbable
So
ledges are usually painted like with a really bright color that contrasts
Yeah.
with like the color palette of the level or something.
Yeah, and I think what's that free running game called?
Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge.
It's
is
just
like
follow the color red, pretty much.
Yeah.
Is that game. It's just
That's what it's called.
that one's.
It might as well be.
That one's a little more blatant.
Yeah, that one's more obvious because everything is white,
Yeah.
except for the color red, which is what you follow.
But honestly,
Yeah,
you
that's a
probably
cool stylistic choice, though.
It's one
It
of
is.
those things
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
you probably still wouldn't like if you didn't play video games. Typically, you'd just like, oh, why is that red? It's like,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
climb it, you idiot.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
But there's also like kind of the other mentality, like the opposite side of that is the the idea of finding the hidden item. You know, this was like ingrained in me in the old Mario games, Mega Man, Sonic, of like taking the path not usually taken, and it still happens in video games where like, you know, there'll be games like Wolfenstein or something where you're going one direction and it's like the game's telling me to go this way, but I also know that there's an opening over there. There's probably something there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's second nature. It's like I got to go that way first because I got to make sure there's something there.
For sure.
And like I remember I was playing Super Mario Wii U once, and it was at a GameStop.
Once and only
No, it was a demo.
Not buying that or the system.
No.
Nope.
It was a demo. It was a demo at a GameStop, and I'm playing the game, and you know Mario games, like there will be points where you can go underground, and you can kind of see the silhouette of you, and you're walking, you collect coins and stuff.
Right.
And I did that once, and this person who I was with was like, "How'd you know that was there?" And I was like, because you just know, like it's obvious that there's it by itself. Like why wouldn't there be something there?
Yeah, it's either like it's isolated or like there's a pathway that's leading to it, but it seems like a wall. But it seems like the way that the level's designed, it kind of funnels you that way or suggests. It's just like how it's
it'll be
designed
like
itself.
you'll have like a pit, but that pit for some reason it's got like 2 coins right there, and you're like
I got
that goes down.
Yeah,
and
it's like it has to go
and
down.
that's like that is ingrained from Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong is like follow the banana. If there's a random banana, because there will be random bananas, like just one over a pit, and people are like, "That's a trap." But if you go in it, there's like a secret barrel, and it takes you to a bonus level. So it's like stuff like that. It's like it's just ingrained in me from being a kid and like playing games my whole life. It's like it's second nature now.
Remember all those Donkey Kong secrets? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, you gotta
all
get
of them.
good, son,
Dude,
man. Like
it's been like 20 years. You're just like, oh yeah, you gotta go there.
You gotta get good.
Ground pound here, punch the thing. You have to also like change the knobs in your TV. That also opens up a new level. You're like, Jesus Christ, this is way ahead of its time.
You just gotta get good, man.
Follow the banana.
Always the banana.
Secrets about your lapel. Fucking follow that.
But
man.
I'm sorry, Jesus Christ.
Stop backseat gaming. So violent.
But like going back to like the backseat gaming thing is like I don't think of myself as a backseat gamer, but when I watch someone who tries to play a game and I'm like, I just get very impatient.
I give 5 minutes.
Very just like yes.
Yeah, like I can't. Like
you know, because you're right. You can't, because here's another thing that's kind of inherent with the video game community now too, is that because us as gamers, we recognize these patterns and we think it's so obvious that our threshold for patience for new gamers is so low. It's atrociously low.
Yeah.
That like people, I've actually read articles about like these new gamers, like on Kotaku and stuff like that. People are saying like, this is a really toxic community because like I'm new to games. I'm 30 and I've never played a game because of X, Y, and Z reasons. But I want to now that I have the ability to. And every time I try to pick up a controller with someone else in the room, they're like, "Why are you such an idiot?"
You gotta get good.
I've literally never held a controller in my hands in my life.
Yeah,
How am I supposed to know you can fucking kill that mushroom thing? And how that one it makes you bigger? You know, like it just makes no sense.
I'd hate to imagine somebody that's like they've never really played a game or it's been like 20, 30 years, but you see like the Overwatch videos and you're like, wow, this seems like an interesting world. Let me play this game. And then you like pick up the game, like, oh, this Tracer
like
guy sounds, this Tracer lady sounds cool. Let me play Tracer. And you like go into a match, you get totally wrecked, and then somebody sends you a message, just like, get good, you scrub, you scrub garbage.
Scrote. Wow, that was
like
inventive.
That's why you gotta hit the
interesting.
practice range before you go into live gameplay. That's all. You just gotta get good.
Yeah, but
But we are closing doors to new gamers. Like we are becoming more and more exclusive and like and predatory to these new people. Like just because like
people
sometimes
send
we're,
you
like,
hate mail so fast.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. So I think it's a kind of it's a weird thing that I think that the community needs to work on with patience, because I mean, how much joy do you get when you show someone a brand new game that like really affected you? Like for example, when I showed my friend Hellblade, I was like, you have to play this game. You've never played it, and you're a casual gamer. I'm sure you can get the hang of it or whatever. But I was like, I want you to experience this because it moved me, you know? And so you want to do that, but then you also can't be like, okay, now go there, now go there. Now this is going to happen next. Oh yeah, push X at this moment. You can't do that because you have to let them have their own experience, because then that takes away from the game, you know? They're not playing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to do that, the only way I could be like patient throughout that entire situation would be like, all right, I'm going to give you this game. No, not even. I will gladly watch and listen, but like, you can't ask me questions. I am not gonna take the time, because I'm not patient enough to be like, okay, here's how you do this. Like, I'm not gonna take any questions, pick up the controller, and just play. I don't care if you die a million times, as long as you're not saying, why does this do this? Why can't I do that? It's like, just figure it out. The game will tell you.
I do hate that question. Why can't I do this? I'm
Yeah.
like, because the same way, like when you're in a movie, you can't like shit on the person next to you. You just can't do it.
Or in any other situation.
Only movie theaters. I could take a shit on you guys right now. It'd be totally justified.
It's like, yeah, this is normal.
It's just a normal Saturday.
No, but I'm saying like.
But at the movies.
That place is a sanctuary, a shit-free sanctuary. No, but like it's like when they ask like, oh, why can't I just like go over here, kill that person, drink their blood? I'm like, because this isn't also Mortal Kombat and also GTA and also every like. It's,
Not all games
like,
are built the same.
Right.
Like,
It's like you can't. Yeah.
let the game teach you how to play it. Follow what it's
Yeah.
telling you, especially nowadays, because nowadays games are just like, press this button and you do that. Now do this so you know how to do that. And it's
Right,
just-
which is another part of the industry where we as gamers are so like insulted when the game is like, here, push A to jump.
God,
it's like
I hate
I
it.
fucking
I know.
no, but it's like, but then it's like also they're trying to introduce new gamers.
No, I
to
and I
the-
get
to
it,
the
but like there's a way
genre.
to do it. Like Breath of the Wild, it's so perfect.
It's
Like
perfect.
it doesn't tell you anything, but you can figure it out so quickly.
Yeah, so quackly.
So quickly.
But I think, like, you know, a problem I always have with games that I'm playing is I hate it when a video game treats you like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Tough.
oh, hit circle and do this. And, you know, one of the things I loved Odyssey, but I hate it when it's bringing crap up on the screen like, oh, do this with your Wiimotes or whatever. And it's just
Yeah,
like, well, first
Joy-Cons.
of all, game, it's not a Wiimote. Like, calm down.
First
Know
off,
your own damn
Nintendo.
software.
But second, it's like, I'm not doing
It's
this
like,
with
I'm not
Joy-Cons.
your buddy.
I'm not your friend, guy.
Friend.
Keep
No,
yourself chief.
I call up Miyamoto. I have his number. And I just start yelling at him. He's like, "Who
Get
is
good,
it?
you scrubs! Like, you can't say that to the guy in Nintendo.
Who is this? Why am I not speaking in my native tongue?"
How did I learn English?
There's a random here. Are you drinking milk? Anyways,
But,
so
but I just hate it when I'm treated stupid in a game. I understand that it's trying to like introduce new players to a game,
all right.
but they need to somehow separate that stuff. It's like if I'm playing,
Well-
if there's like an easy mode for a game, put it in that. Leave me alone. Give me my hard mode.
Yeah, I turn my hints
Good
off.
games will find a way to tell you how to play the game or teach you how to play the game through like osmosis almost. You know, like through
Well,
like
it's
being able
just
to
through-
play the game
like,
without
organically.
telling you,
Yeah.
without outright telling you. The same way like a story of a film is inherently bad when you just have these long scenes of exposition where the character says, "This is who I am. This is my backstory. This is what I want
don't
to
need
do." It's
all
like I don't want to do. Just, how about you show me? Don't
Yeah,
tell me.
show me. Yeah.
And so games like we had talked earlier, Mega Man X had like a whole
perfect.
tutorial
Perfect.
stage.
Yeah.
But it like didn't tell you push A to shoot.
Doesn't tell you
or
anything.
Whatever.
You just teleport on this highway and you just go. That's it.
Teleport on this highway.
It is. You just
yeah,
fucking wreck.
and
Yeah,
the
I mean,
music
it's-
is whew, so good.
It's the first level of the game, but it teaches you every mechanic you're ever going to need in that game. It teaches you in a way where it's just like you're not an idiot. You know, you can figure this out. Where one of the first things it does, it drops you into a pit, and you're just stuck in this pit, and it's like, how do I get out of the pit? And then you just start like messing around, and you're like, oh wait, I can wall jump, and then you wall jump out, and now you know how to do that mechanic. It doesn't hit A to jump on the wall.
Right.
It's just like, no, calm down. I don't
Same
know
thing.
whose voice that is. But
Miyamoto?
calm down.
I think I'm going insane. But same thing with Hellblade too. Hellblade, there is no heads-up display.
Yeah.
There is no tutorials. There's nothing besides the voices in our head that cause the psychosis that tell you kind of like hints, but like it's in a way that it
Yeah,
sounds
it's so
like
well done.
it's more defensive and it makes sense for what they're saying and how they're saying it in the contents of what
Yeah.
they're doing. And so one of the things that started to kind of like bug me was that my friend, like I don't think he was grasping that was like technically the tutorial, because when you're fighting certain enemies, they're like, what's the word? Ethereal. You know, like they're not
Yeah,
of
so
a
it's
physical
weird
form. They're just like
shadow
smoky,
things.
right?
Yeah.
And the only way to make them like in a physical form that you can actually harm them or do damage or kill them is by focusing. You know, which is a thing where you basically zoom in the camera and you kind of like focus. But it's a mechanic. There's a button attached to it, right? And there's nowhere in the game that says R2 is focus. But the voices in her head, in the character's head, as you're fighting this guy, as you guys are circling each other and you're trying to swat at it and you're not doing any damage, you hear the voices go, "Oh, you're not strong enough. You're not strong. Focus.
Yeah.
Just try to focus." You know, but they're like saying it in a way that's like panicky. You know?
Fucking do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was telling Guillermo earlier. It's just like I'd love for them to like break characters. It's like, just hit R2, you idiot.
Yeah.
So stupid.
How many times we have to spell it out for you? But the thing is, my friend, great guy. I love him to death, and I would never talk ill of him. But
Except now.
Is he gonna watch this?
I don't know. Maybe. Hey.
Hey.
But it took him in that fight like 10 minutes, and like I'm trying to sit here and be mouth closed because I don't want to be like, hey, press this button, because the joy that I got from that game was finding it out on my own and becoming inherently a better fighter, because like I was discovering these combos and these special attacks, so it made me feel much more rewarded. So I didn't want to take that away from him, and so I'm just sitting here quietly. I'm just like, in my head, I'm like screaming, listen to the voices. They're literally telling you what to do.
You're just like the fifth voice in his head. Like, he's like, just hit this button.
Take the headphone away from, hit R2.
Yeah.
You're not strong enough.
Do it.
Just do it.
You idiot. But finally, after 10 minutes, I was like, you should focus. He's like, I'm trying. And I go, no, not literally. I mean, like, the button.
I would if you would shut up. I'm trying.
Stop talking in my ear. These voices won't shut up. Like, and so I finally, like, I go, buddy, they're literally telling you what to do. And he's like, oh, and he does that, and then the thing becomes physical, and he beats the hell out of it, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that. I was like,
yeah, dude, it's like, it's stuff like that, and it's hard, it's so hard not to be like, oh my god, you idiot, because we've had 20 plus years of experience playing these games, so we have so much. Again, like, we've gone through generations of consoles and games, like, just like building on these mechanics, so we know it all from the ground up, and it's just. But it's at the same time, it's so hard to be patient. Like, it's so difficult. Like, especially when you play a game like Mario, something so simple, and you're just like, just jump, just jump.
I had a friend, like, she's never played a video game like in her entire life, but she loves horrors. And I was like, okay, I have a game I want you to try. I think you can figure it out, because it's the simplest thing in the world. It's, PT. Mm-hmm. It's literally, you walk, and then you open a door. That's it. You got the joystick, and you got the square button. Yeah. And that's it. She couldn't do it. Like, literally, like, trying. She was like, "What do I do?" Like, just walk down that hallway. That's one hallway.
How do I do it?
just push that forward. I can't do that. Like, what are you talking? Like,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
My hands.
Pick up the controller. Like,
how?
I need to see
no, not your feet. No.
I have a similar story, actually. I was introducing my friend to Zelda Ocarina of Time for the first time. She had never played it. And I was like, oh, you're going to love it. And she saw me play it, and she's like, oh, this is really fantastic. The music, the horse, the bow and arrow. I was like, yeah, you'll like it. So we started from scratch. I, started her a new game. I kind of helped her out, like telling her where she kind of can go, just to kind of streamline it for her a little bit. It's the first time. And she gets into the Deku Tree, whatever. And the very first item that you get, the slingshot, it's in a room that you walk into, and the bars immediately lock you in the room.
Yeah.
They come down the room. And then you climb this ladder, and you open a chest, and you get the slingshot. The only way out of this room,
you got it.
You have to turn around, because you're on a raised platform. So when you turn around immediately, not only do you see the door down here, but you see a ladder that's just attached to the wall.
Yep.
And she has been running around this thing for 5 minutes. I was a lot less patient back then, and I'm like, maybe you should. I'm trying to give her hints, and she's like, don't tell me. And the wall. And I was like, oh my god, because it's like, it just makes so much sense. Because like, okay, A, you walked in the room, you climbed the ladder. You know you can climb ladders now, and you just got an item that shoots projectiles.
Yeah.
Obviously, this game is telling you, hey,
you
got a new item. Why don't you try it out and see what you can do? Hey, there's a ladder that you should be able to climb, but why is it doing all the way up there? Shoot the ladder.
Yeah.
It's like, you would think that it's just so much common sense to just pull out the item and start using it, but it's just not.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, like, especially games like that where it's nobody thinks. For some reason, people who are brand new to a video game, it seems like they just don't think. It's like...
Well, it's even worse now with the swiping games on mobile phone.
Well,
like Temple Run, just swipe left and right.
Yeah, but like there's no second forethought for people. They're just like, well, is the game going to tell me what to do? Or like, where am I supposed to go? How do I... Well, you just go. Just figure it out.
Like video games, critical thinking skills. That's all you need.
It really is.
It's like an escape room,
all mediums of creativity, like films. People expect you to turn off the brain and watch something that's popcorn. Music, they just want to like bob their head to, but they don't want to like think of like what the lyrics are saying or the musical.
It's like you got to understand what you're doing, and a little bit of forethought and a little bit of second level thinking is required for these kinds of things.
And honestly, sorry, I didn't mean.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I tried to introduce my dad to play a game, and he couldn't get like the thumb mechanic of pushing buttons.
That's the thing. The joystick thing I can understand, because
you tell him that.
Dexterity.
I will. He'll kill you. He has a gun.
But honestly,
he's a cop.
I honestly feel like video games through life have actually helped me with critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
Like I think I've become a better person. Just like thinking, like problem solving and figuring out a situation.
Same.
Like, okay, you know, I'm in this sucky situation in life. How can I fix it? What's my next step?
Do I have a slingshot? Okay, no.
I actually used to
Did I
do that
open
when I was a
chest?
kid. I would relate situations to
You'd
if I
get
was
a
in a video game. Well, and then I get a slingshot. But no, I would do that when I was younger. I was just like, I would take whatever situation I was in and I would relate it to a game and be like, okay, what are my possibilities? What can I do to get past this situation? It helped me. I mean, I'm doing so far so well in life, so.
There you go. So everyone,
Video games are good.
Yeah, you should play video games. Gamers,
Critical
you should be
thinking.
more patient to other new gamers because we want this, you know, this medium to grow as much as we possibly can. That's the whole point.
Just play Mega Man X first. If
Yeah.
you're new, play Mega Man X. That's
or
it.
just Super Mario Brothers, the very first one. It'll teach you everything first level.
Yeah,
Like that
and you
game's
should play that
designed so
anyways.
well.
That's just an iconic thing
Yeah,
in video
it's a
games.
good thing to
Also,
start.
death to the tutorial levels. The
Yeah.
tutorial levels that tell you how to play
Yeah,
the game.
not like Mega Man X.
Right.
That
Or-
tutorial level is
exactly.
perfect.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Patrons, I want to give you guys a special thank you for donating and making this video happen and keeping this show up and running. And you guys that are watching us on YouTube, you're helping just by putting your eyes or ears on this as well. So thank you so much. DJ Chiptune,
DJ Chiptune.
Ooh,
Wow.
yeah.
Who's that?
DJ Cutman, who has
DJ
chiptune music.
Who is that?
He might. Hey, that's a pretty good suggestion. It's a good name. you know?
DJ Chiptune.
Yeah, I like
Wow.
it. I like it. So suggest for you can take it if you want.
He's
Thanks.
gonna do the music for our YouTunes account.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
nice, nice.
Now, DJ Cutman, thank you so much. You can check more of his music out on SoundCloud or on his website at djcutman.com. You can also follow us, Multiplayered, at Go Multiplayered on both Instagram and Twitter. And you can find out what our personal information is on our actual show, which
Yeah.
is every
Yeah. It's a
Thursday.
secret.
I'm not going to tell you now.
That's right. That's what we're here for. Thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we'll see you at the respawn.
Later.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
On behalf of Multiplayer, Mario would like to send a special thank you to Jaden Lawrence, Arturo Mendera, Merchadan Kroll Pitaru, and Mario Dorado. Thank you so much for watching.